Yo, 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 yo. So we're in my forbidden session right now, and I've caught something. I've caught something. Let me just show you. I've caught something. I think I've caught me. I've caught me something. Nah, that's too big. I think it's this way. I think I caught me something, lads. I think I caught me something. I think I caught me something. I think I caught me something. Why can't I have it there like how I normally used to have it though? Is it turned off? MT5. Oh, I never done that. Let me fix it. Let me fix it right now. Window capture. Existing. MT5. Okay. Perfect. And let's crop it. But yeah, lads, I think I caught me something, bro. I think I caught me something. This is me editing live, you know. This is crazy work. I'm professional. But I think I caught me something, lads. So let me just read where I'm gonna break even quickly because we're looking for mitigation. Yeah, so we're looking for that break even to be at this point here. BE and RBE. But anyway, let me set the alarm quickly. You don't want to miss that. But anyway, do we mitigate? I think we did. Now we could still come back and mitigate. That's the thing. Yeah, it's done the high though. Yeah, I'm gonna be aggressive with this one and put out a mitigation. I know we can still come back and mitigate, but I think break even will be valid here because it's the forbidden session. Ideally, we're up right now, but we could come back and mitigate. That's the thing, and it could leave. That's the sad thing about it. But sometimes you just gotta pick your reality, man. Which one do you want? Rather miss the move, because the move. The thing is, from this point here, we should violate this point here, because this is look main push, retracement, mitigation. We're looking for the expansion. Do you get where I'm coming from? So now let me change the colors so you see what I'm talking about. Remember, orange is retracement. This will be the main push. Do you get where I'm coming from? So the main push has happened here, right here. Why is it a main push? Because this candle led to that. Let's read this candle. Look, this candle here broke these lows, took out that liquidity and tapped into the zone. And then what did the price do? We reversed past it. Like we went past it. Let me get water quickly. I hope my camera don't move, you know. The camera is one of those sensing. So yeah, is that so the thing is, what I don't want is for us to reject off this point here. Do you get where I'm coming from? And then come and retrace. I want us to blast through it. This will be the efficiency of the pullback. Why? Because that's where the retracement started. But we've mitigated already. Look, this candle essentially led to this. We went up. The sellers tried to bring price down again. They failed. And buyers moved price up and broke. Do you get where I'm coming from? So it's valid. We broke, and this is the candle that led to us tapping into this point here. What I don't want is, obviously, when we break above this leg has been replicated. You can come from. So it's like we have to break above this. Hence why my break evens there. But however, that is also the efficiency of the pullback. We don't have to break above it. It's just a point where liquidity could happen, which is the liquidity is here, and we could come back down and fly down. Hence why I put my shit in break even. Because from here is that, yeah, at this point, if sellers are really in control, they can really bring price all the way back down here. Because why? This is also liquidity, and we haven't touched the decisional yet. However, the reason why I'm trading without the decisional is because the narrative. Now, let me show you the narrative of what I was talking about. So let's go on a 4H here, and 4H, deep something. this is a one leg break. If it's a one leg break, this becomes internal range supply. And I think on my previous video, I marked it out as a internal range supply. So it's not causational, it's correlational, because the main move has already been done. This is just the market front running the move, because the move, if you really want to buy again, is meant to be in premium. This is basically Fibonacci traders, 50%. Let me guess. Look, bang on, exactly that. So we know we need to take them out, because this is basically, it became the main push. And the main push has had an invalidation, which is the decisional which created the main push has already, the sellers have already brought price there. This is where they should be bringing it to, because the main, remember, is that you're a trend within a trend. Do you get where I'm coming from? So it's that the trend before was bullish, and the sellers here that got control, they failed to break that previous trend. And then how do we know they failed to break it? Because they didn't break it, and we changed state of delivery candle wise. Same thing. The candles that took the liquidity.
What?
Yeah, BE. I'm already in BE anyway.
What?
But the candles that the candles that led to the decisional, taking out the liquidity and led to the decisional. If we break above that, look, if we read it here, there's two candles here. One took the liquidity, one tapped in. We broke above both of them, so it's valid. Do you get where I'm coming from? So now here, obviously, one sec, let me go on a low time frame. So we've broken above it now, but we wicked it. I want us to mitigate, because we have a new internal cycle. Again, candle wise, read it. Look. Sweep. There was no sweep here. This is the only sweep. Sweep, mitigating this structural level. This candle breaking above that previous candle. So it's valid. Below the open is valid. And then now look, we've had the higher, which is the retracement. Now we might have a mitigation here, and we should continue that cycle. So right now I know that buyers are in control. Do you go and come from? But the main push is not done, because it needs to mitigate here, but it can carry on going just like how it's going here. Do you go and come from? So let's see what happens. Because we know that the target is here. Is here. And if you look at here, the reason why I'm going past the 50% is because look, shut up, man. It's because look, what candle changed it? Let's read it again. This point tapped into this supply that I marked out before, yeah. Look, range. There was a range. This candle failed to break above this. We had a range. We went above it, right? Then we came down. This candle broke this candle's low. We mitigated. Cycle's complete. Then we came back again, taking out this point here, because it was a correlational move. Look, already mitigated. This candle broke. This candle's higher. The candle that tapped it came and broke the previous candle's low. Sorry. And then this candle went up above the candles that opened. That is mitigation. Cycle's complete. This is the extent, the expansion of it. Then the trend continued. It took out the correlation, because remember, this was just the expansion. The mitigation was here. Expansion. This is where retails or other people would have gotten. They got taken out. So the trend continues, basically. So you're going to come from, and then we come down. But anyway, we've come and mitigated now. Let's see. Do we mitigate, or do we break below it? If we do, that would be bad news, because that means that we're coming to mitigate down here. Do you get where I'm coming from? And to me, it's not worth it. I'll just close it. It's the forbidden session anyway. Why not take something off the table, make us progress to, do you know where I'm coming from? So yeah, man. Okay, we've taken it now. We've broken it. But we haven't broken structure. Remember what I said? The structure is this point here. We just swept something here. We need to break this point here. If you break this point here, to me, we've changed. The trend has changed, basically. This point is just liquidity. I'll show you where. Let me put this as, let me just change the color. To black. Look, you see this point here? Look, read it candle wise. What did we do? This candle broke this. Then we came down, broke this high. This candle broke this high. So market structure wise, it just went up and broke something on the left, right? But there was no liquidity. So we have to generate liquidity. What do? We come here, sweep this low, go up, break structure again. But we come back down and break this low. Why? Because This point here, it was a structural level, so there was no liquidity there. We generated the liquidity. This point here was the generation of the liquidity. You have to be aware of this, and then price came and swept it. So now we've gone and had the efficiency of the pullback. If we break this, I'll come out of it because I know that we're coming down here to mitigate. And because of the forbidden session, what I'm reading, we could just break below all of this. Do you get where I'm coming from? So let's see. This is the mitigation. Is the mitigation because look, the open price. So until if we break below all of this and tap it, and I'm out, I won't lie to you, because I deeped it, bro. There's no point trying to pass the thing in one trade. You're just trying to pass it. So if we break below that, I'm out. Yeah, I'm out still. And I'll take what's on the table. It's cool. How much was that? 9 bills. That puts us at a bag in profit. We got 4% left. This could have been liquidity going up. I don't really care about that. I just know that cycle wise, this could come down. But the reason why I took this trade anyway is because it's like a counter. Is more intuitive, is more intent and intuitive more than what you can actually just see on price in it. Which is basically, look, we've tapped this extreme point. Yeah, if it was that strong, we should have broke this point here, being the last cycle that pushed price up. Right. And because we mitigated it and we didn't break it, and then we have a change of state of delivery within here, I know that, bro, the sellers might be weak, because if they were strong, they would have broke. So I'm trading the 2-leg. So the 2-leg is anywhere here, because this could be a SMT, and all of this because we haven't tapped into the decisional. So the foundation here of me taking the trade is all like correlation, basically. So I'm basically in and out, but obviously that in and out, that correlation move, we could still carry on, which I was expecting, which we might still do. And maybe where I came out was basically us inducing something, inducing the whole point, and then maybe going. But I'm expecting price to come further down to mitigate, because this point here, look, we had a 2-leg with no mitigation. This candle here opened is not mitigated. So we might come there and do that in the second key window of the forbidden session. So to me, my thing was we're replicating this leg to do the last leg, the expansion, because this is what the market has shown us. This is us getting in to go up here and break it, and then the cycle's done. And right now the cycle's done, hence why I came out of it. But if we're gonna do a new cycle, guess what? We're gonna have to grab liquidity. This was the liquidity I thought we might grab. It didn't grab that, so I said, yo, if that's not the liquidity it wants to grab, we could come and take out these lows. And what? I lost out on profit for no reason. You see, when I realized this, you're just riding with a cycle and you're reading as it tells you. Sometimes you might miss, like how I'm going to miss now, probably because it's a fair value gap. And fair value gap, sometimes they have power to move in it. But yeah, man, bro, cycle wise, the way I understand it, it could still come down. So it's either I should have stayed in, took partials and stayed in, but taking partials here is not really my thing in it. What do you say if I was to put my SL here? Let me see something. Yeah, like taking partials there is not really my thing still, because I didn't use the actual cycles though, because this is the two leg in it. I should have used this, but what I was risking was a bit dead, so I said, you know what, let me just put it all the way here, just in case. Yeah, we go and hit this, come back down, take out this liquidity, and not take out this point here, because this is also another 2-leg which led to breaking this leg here, which actually tapped into something. Obviously this also tapped into that, but we didn't really sweep nothing when we came back down. Do you know, we swept this, but yeah, man, that was about it. I was like, do you know, come from? So I was like, this can become liquidity as well. And if I'm looking at it overall, we haven't tapped the decisional, so this could all be liquidity. Ooh, this could all be liquidity, and we could come back down and take all of that out and tap into the decisional, and then make the move to go and break all of this, because we know that is weak. And the cycle there is completed. Do you get where I'm coming from? Or we could go from here to there, still mitigating here and then go in there, because that's a new main push, right? And we could take something out, maybe even tap further into this extreme here, right? Because this has made the main push, mitigation phase. We're expecting the expansion phase. So this point here is, if it's still weak and we're trending, we could come back down, take out all of this, even this point here, but not break this green box and then make the next thing. Understand it like that. If you understand it like that, you'll always realize what the point of this is trying to do. Has it fulfilled it? If it hasn't fulfilled it, this fulfilling is hitting this point here and then coming back down. That's it being fulfilled. Why? Because it's gone up and it's failed. It's basically done this up, mitigated, and it's failed to break the higher because the sell that brought it down is too strong. So then we come down. Do you get where I come from? And in this scenario, it makes sense. Why? Because we know that the decisional is below. The decisional that broke this. And we also have other, you see, this will be something else, but this is it. So if we break this, ideally here, which is also another point where if I go on the M15, we made a main push, but we're in a mitigation portion right now. Do you come from? View it like that. So it's like now we're more likely to go up than we are to go down. So don't be that. And if we're selling, because we're more likely to go up than to go down, sellers are a bit weak. So see how they've tapped into it and they're having their efficiency to pull back straight away. It's meant to do this: tap, down, tap, down, tap, down. If it was something like that, I could say, you know what, maybe we could come back down here. So I'm not going to take the trade. But we've tapped it. 1, 2. The 2 leg came too quick. It's meant to do this and then retrace a bit. That would have been a trace to come down. And maybe if we got here, I wouldn't be looking to, actually that would be obviously yeah, I wouldn't really be looking to get in on that one there, so I won't lie to you. But this one here is that we know we need to go up here, but we're failing to break here. We have a sweep push, main push. This is basically the retracement version of it. I mean, yeah, to come up. And this is like the bearish side of it, to come up. And we haven't mitigated here yet. And this is failing to break. I know that we're going to keep going up, so I can trade the internal ranges to reach here. That's what I was trying to do, and I got it on the main push of it. But the main push, because I got it on the main push, I was expecting the main push, because I was expecting more bearish prices for price to come here. I'm expecting the main push to have an invalidation, meaning we're going straight up to hit here, and then we come back down. But we didn't do that. We went up, finished the cycle, right? Finished the cycle right here. This would be red. Red. Yeah, finish the cycle right here. I'm not, and price has obviously, what I wanted it to do to carry on is invalidated that. Bro, why am I waiting for me to get tapped out? What sense does that make? Do you get where I'm coming from? If I do get tapped out, I mean, that's a possibility, I might not, but what's the point? This is a SMT. We're going to go up there and then probably come back down to mitigate this, because this is now, the cycle is done. And watch how the cycle is done and how things play out, bro. It's because it knows that there's buyers in the market. It's going to keep doing these things. Go up, down, up, bringing in more buyers, down, up, down, tap into here. Now buyers have turned into sellers. Then from here, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, taking all of these guys out, tapping into here, and then down again. It could possibly do that, or it could carry on. But that's what I mean. Or it could just come up here, up, and then down. Do you can come from? It's just scenarios. But let's see it. I'm gonna end the video after price whether respects that zone or violates it. So whether it takes out my original trade. I just want to see something. Because I was trading yesterday. Was it yesterday? Nah. The break even I had. I said, bro, why do I do that? I know that price is going to turn it. It's giving me the confirmation it wants to turn it. Why am I still in a trade hoping, oh, it's not going to take me out? When where I got in at the mitigation, which is likely to be a correlational move, because we're getting in on a mitigation. Every single mitigation, this is retail or people getting in after the main cause of movement in the market, which is this. We tapped into here and we had this. Everyone knows that. If the smart one knows that, you know what, this is a main push because we've changed state of delivery. This candle led to this and we've broken above that. We've come back down to mitigate. We need to make the next leg, which is this. So when it got to here, they're not selling down to come all the way down here. They know maybe we'll break this eventually, but not now. The cycle doesn't say that now. If the cycle did, they would have seen it. And it says no, because they're mitigating. You buy here. Why? Because we broke above here. So ideally, you're buying here, and maybe we could get to here, the efficiency to the pullback, and return down. Or we could break it and finish the cycle. Same way, the cycle is done anyway. Now the cycle is done. I know we haven't reached here yet, so I know we still need to go up. So this might still hold. But remember, I got in and, bro, my invalidation was here. We broke it. Fair enough. The cycle's done. If we need to mitigate, because this becomes a new main push, right? But this new main push had liquidity here, taken, tapped into this point here, which, what did it do? Changed their delivery, but the cycle was done. So it created a new liquidity. So ideally, this point here is likely to fail as well. And look, trend line, trend line. What do we have below? Causational zone, being a magnet for price to come down. It makes sense. You gonna come from? It makes sense. It makes sense for price to come all the way down here. And I just want to show you how this will get taken out. If it does get taken out, because it might just long it out with the next key session. I mean, key window, it might just keep going up like this, and it may be hit here and then come down. Or it could just violate, because it knows that there's a lot of buyers. This has become the main push. But remember, the main push is invalid because it's the end of the cycle. So a lot of people are not seeing that. That is the end of the cycle. So if a new main push needs to happen, we need to sweep. Or if it's strong enough or causational, we will just mitigate and go and do another higher. But we need to take something. And right now, there's nothing to take. What is there to take other than the people who got in here? Tell me, what other traders are here to take? There's no other traders. Look, and if I look here, let's see if it's mitigated. So this is the candle that broke above it. Okay, we haven't really mitigated. So we could say, okay, here, but it's not really to go come from. But it could still go up. Remember, this is the original zone that needs to hit for price to come down. But sometimes, because the whole thing is flawed, we don't need to finish the cycle. We just do something like this with internal ranges. This thing I was talking here, this, we go up, like how we did here, up, and this being a cycle done, right? So this up, and then I'm tweaking, up, down, so up, down, and then obviously, so I'm tweaking, I'm talking about this one here, right? So we went up, this is up, down, finished. This would have been here, up, down, finished, right? And it doesn't if I go on a higher time frame like M15, has it tapped it, the actual candle open? Let's see. It hasn't, but it has swept the previous one. So let's see. It could still go further up, but to me is that it was close to it. It did touch the wick though. I'm talking about, I know I got bears. I'm talking about this candle here. So you can come around. I think it touched the open, like the wick of it, which is calm enough. But I still know we can go up to the open. So you can come from. But to me, the whole point of me coming out the trade was simply because, we're coming to back to my entry for no reason. Back to my entry for no reason. When I know there's another key window, there's this session here. There's always two key windows. There's one that forms the move, and then there's one that mitigates the move. Sometimes. Ideally, that's what the ones you want to trade, but that's the one you want to trade. But this is the first one, so this could form the move, and that move could be me getting taken out. My dickhead, come on, man, think smart. Trust me, you gotta adapt, man. I realized this yesterday. Another one. Let me show you something. You see how this candle here, right? It took out previous candles low, and then became. Let me just move this a bit to the side, and we failed to break above it. That would have been the efficiency of the pullback on this structural level. This tried to do the main push. It failed. This candle tapped into this point and tapped into this point here where we had the main push. We failed to do the main push. So there's no change of stale delivery here. Maybe if we fail to break here and go and break it now, that's a stale change. That's a change of stale delivery. Do you get where I'm coming from? So now that means that buyers are in the market. But now we can carry on going. We can use this move here internally, candle-wise, and keep going. But on a higher time frame, will just look like this. Just a massive move. But these times on a lower time frame, we're doing something like this. Because every candle with a wick has that. Just remember that every candle with a wick has this pattern here. Every candle has that. But you just have to realize that the wick has to take out a previous candle's low. So then you have liquidity. Because remember I said it looks like this. Liquidity here. Break a structure here. Being the previous candle's higher. And you know that when we come back down here, sometimes we might come deep past the liquidity point. and then we have to do this point. And this point, remember, we don't know how. Sometimes the market could just do up to here and come down because this is correlational. You know where I'm coming from? So because it's correlational, it doesn't have to make this high. Sometimes it can do this. But where our entry allows us to get in when we get in on these extreme points, before we get here, we should have our 1 to 3. This is just us being greedy. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, for example, you see how here, obviously, I didn't get in on the extreme. The extreme would have been here, right? If I got in here with my SL here, look, 1 to 3 should be here. It's even 1 to 4. Do you get where I'm coming from? So it's like, that's what I'm talking about. So obviously I got in here, so obviously I got to be a bit more cautious. And I was aiming for, if I was aiming for here, it would have been a 1 to, ideally, yeah, if I use this stop loss here, but it's just too small. Sorry, where did I even, yeah, I got in here, because this one broke here, yeah. That is 2R, breaking above it is thing. That's what I was targeting here. And the reason I was targeting there is because this candle broke it, and that's the open of it. We haven't tapped it. But if you think about it, this candle broke this high, broke this high. This candle then broke this high. The candle that touched it, took out the high and tapped into these points here. We broke the low of it. So, and then we've quickly come inside. That is a mitigation, and then this candle moves. So that mitigation is done. So ideally, I'm expecting price to come around here if it wants to come down again. You're gonna come from, hence why I was like that. But now look, we are having some sort of change in state of delivery, tapping into this portion here, this candle open, which is good. If we break above here, I might be interested for the same idea that I was going for, hoping that this is a new change of state of delivery. But remember I said we could get forward, and the foliage has already started. Look, cycle is about to complete. What do we have here? This candle tapped, this candle's open. The one that actually, it was the last black candle before we actually went up. So think of it like that. This led to this being broken, right? So we've come and tapped into that. That being like the decisional. Tapped into that, and what do we do? This candle being the candle that tapped into that. You see how the market leaves clues, but you will never, if you don't read it, you won't know. I'm going to leave this here because I might not be here for my session for that to happen, yeah. But look. This is a change of state of delivery. Why? Because that's the candle that tapped into that candle's open, the last black candle before we went up and broke all of these. And remember, I said a cycle is done. So now, yeah, look, what it's done is, because there's no liquidity for it, it generated liquidity here, Fez, and it's done this. Fez, it could even go further up because we're in an expansion phase. The reason why we're in an expansion phase is, look, we went and broke it. What did we do? This candle went and broke it and closed back here. Wick breaking it, we came back, mitigated. This candle expansion, breaking past the retracement's high, is done. See how there's no fair value gaps within it. It's done. Now this is end of cycle. End of cycle, where did we reach? We reached here, this portion here. So the cycle is done, right? And potentially this could bring it down, but I don't really see that happening. And this could potentially just either keep running, right, or mitigate here and fly down. Because if we look here, this candle took this candle's higher. The open is there. That broke this candle's low. We haven't tapped the open. So it may be here, right? When we tap the open, let's see how we react there. Because the cycle is done now. And we left the fair value gap. So maybe we tap it, fill the fair value gap, and carry on going. Let's see. The fair value gap is right here. Let's see. I'm expecting it to break though, because remember that was the trade idea that I was taking anyway. I just didn't want the price to come and take me out because it hit my break even, as we spoke about. Because I entered right here. I entered on the main push, and this is basically a mitigation of that. I entered here. And remember, we haven't mitigated, but I entered on the main push. So the main push has happened, but I know that the main push was the last main push. You can come from. It's basically a mitigation trade, but it's a main push at the same time. Because internally, it'll be a main push. Where I'm taking the trades is a main push. So look, we've gone and done that. So it's the end of the cycle. So now is that, bro, we could violate it. So hence where I came out of it. And now look, see how I said, yeah, bro, it can fool you. So now it's coming to mitigate the last black candle. Let's see what happens. Does it mitigate? It needs to break it. I don't want it to mitigate and do what this done. If it done that, that means we're going higher. So if we tap this point, the candle's open, and then let me put this as line. If we tap this candle's open, right, and we change date of delivery, then we're going up. This point here, which is meant to bring price down, failed to do its job because it came and met the efficiency. The efficiency is is like the extreme of it. So now we've done that. Remember, this candle there's a new cycle inside that cycle that we're talking about. Let me just move this a bit. Yeah, we just know that I just want to see how the trade plays out. Okay, cool. So do we get the change of style delivery? If we do, I might take it because now that is a new cycle. Look, from here, cycle to here, right? Came down. Remember I said a fair value gap. We came and violated the fair value gap with a candle as well. Right? That's being a liquidity. Came all the way here, tapped it. You see how it just tapped it, taking out this candle's low. If we break above the high, I'm interested to carry on the move that I wanted to trade, knowing that we've come and done the mitigation of this main move and we're going higher. So you're gonna come from, but that's only if we break this point here. I want us to break this point and then come back down, mitigate. If we don't break that, this just simply just looks like this. Literally. I want us to break that. So it will look like, because that's the liquidity being taken. So that something like this. Mitigation failed to break. Because remember, where we're taking the trade right now, this will be the mitigation portion. So if the mitigation is failing to do this, we're going to come down, bro. So let's see. I want us to break it. If it breaks it, it validates the same trade idea that I was looking for. And obviously the key session is still there. The last 15 minutes of the first hour candle. So that would still be something. Now let's go on the M5 and see something. See how we broke a structure, mitigated straight. That is like we're likely to trend. We're likely to create trend line liquidity. Because the sell bits are just having a massive pull. Like they're having a pullback to come down. However, they're not breaking structure. Like they're having a force to come down, but they're not breaking the buyers. So and they're coming straight to the fish to the pullback. And then the buyers are changing sale delivery. It tells you something. You've come to the buyer zone, and the buyers are dominating the sellers. The buyers came there so quick they didn't mitigate. The cycle didn't. Or they done the cycle, but they've reached the buyer zone, and it's not. The cycle's done. So now they need to come back and start a new cycle. And maybe do this and then go. Do you gonna come from? That's the way you gotta look at it. As the cycle is done, but yet a new cycle could start. And this will be a new cycle, which is one mitigated. And now we've mitigated, we're failing to do the expansion. So when we break it and we come down, remember I need to wait for a new cycle because this cycle is completed. So ideally I should have got in here. You gonna come from? I should have got in here, but yeah, man, I fried. I should have got in here, and then break upon here will be my break even. But I think it's because the cycle here was done. Well, I should have got in, yeah, some of that here, back in when we had that change, that wick went above it. This candle here is where I should have got in, and then breaking above that would have been my break even. So this being the end of the cycle, if it doesn't break it, I'm still at break even. So basically, break even basically works like this when you're using this. It's like this. When the main push has been done, right, and you get in, you're looking for this or this, right? But remember, internally, we also have the same thing, which will be this. After we tap the zone, then now we need to come do that. So you know that, okay, cool. The main cycle, we need to go and do this leg. At least get to this point here. So internally, when you have this cycle, and it does this and you get in here, because this, the main one, you coming to tap into that one will confirm that, oh, we're bullish. So you will trade the main push. So you can come from. So you get into the mitigation and you're trading this main push. And that mitigation, your break even should be here. And that's what my thing is. Obviously, I'm trading this one. It's a break even. We could come back down, obviously, but now we're showing that we're going up. But remember, the cycle was completed. So now we're coming to the actual efficiency of the pullback, which is where the cycle ended. But remember, obviously, we haven't broken nothing to the left yet, so it's weak. You can come, but it's just because it's weak doesn't mean that, oh, you're expecting it to blow. You're expecting it to blow if you got in here. If you're getting in here, well, you're not expecting it to blow, because if it don't blow, you're pissed. Because we could just go there, come down, and it still blows. You can come from. Because like, you got to be, that's why my entries are always at the causationals of that internal range move. It's not on a correlation. Because what we could do is this point here, as you've seen it, look, this point here, we could just do Higgy Hagger. Higgy Hagger in this zone here. We can keep doing this. And then break. And then now, because you're seeing this as, oh, main push, let me get in here. No, main push, let me get in here. You get taken out. Main push, let me get in here. Fair enough. If you can read it in it, this is when you can understand complex pullbacks. Because this extreme, you said this supply, this in a premium array, let's just say, has come down and broken this. But because it's broken this is what led to that. But it only done that because the cycle is done. Look, main push, mitigation, cycle done. So we came back down to take out liquidity and do a new main push. Then after the main push, mitigation. But the mitigation maybe wasn't at a point where maybe in a fair value gap because it's equilibrium. And then we went up, probably even done this, right? And then we came back down, took out this low, tapped into that thing that created a main push. Because it wasn't mitigated, it created a main push. So you can come from. And then now we've taken out the fake correlated move. Because remember, this is what the market does. This is what the retail does. So the market has done this. We've come down. We haven't hit the point where the market actually done that. So this is retail front running. They front run. The market then comes back down, taps into what caused the first move, and then we replicate the thing. This move here, right here. But then this move, this is where it's sweet. The expansion is what you expect. So this, I got in on the expansion, and I'm expecting the expansion to fly. It shouldn't come back down to, because expansion is that where like price is uncertain. We don't know how high it can go. You can come from this point here. We don't know how high it can go. We just know that it needs to reach a certain point, and that certain point for me was here on a higher time frame to this structure. Hence why I was aiming for this point here. So I got in here, cycle is done, and we're starting a new cycle. So if we break above this, is a new cycle. But sometimes, not every cycle is the one you're meant to trade, because some cycles can go up to here and then come back down and break, depending on how strong that point is. And then now we have a breaker. This is when we don't really go up here. We just use this point here, and then we fly down. So you're gonna come from, and this will be seen as a breaker, because here, let's say we had something like this. All right. So this, something like this. Oh, this point broke this high, and then this point broke this low before we could mitigate. So now we mitigate here, but we will mitigate reversely. Do you get where I'm coming from? And then is that instead of mitigating here, we mitigate here. This is when you have supply turn demand, but it's basically a breaker, which is this point took out this low, it done the main push, but it did not do no mitigation. It just violated. So now the mitigation gets done reversely. So wherever, so in this instance it was bullish, right? The mitigation was meant to be a bullish mitigation, but we violated it. So we do a bearish mitigation right here to this structure, this main push here, and then we move. So that's also another thing as well. But yo, this is basically it. No trade for me until New York, but I caught something and I thought, yo, let me just stream it quickly. Man's all got dry lips and that. I haven't got a meeting in a sec. But yo, join my Telegram. I'll probably do, no, join my Telegram today. I'm doing, obviously today, you can vote what PDF or data set you want. I'll probably drop this in there as well, just for an intel drop for my late grinders. So stay awake if you're a grinder. Other than that, yeah, man, I'll probably buck you on New York, but okay, yeah, I got one more shot left in it. So New York. So yeah, man, catch you up.